Hey Booktube, welcome back. I'm Winx, and the ink I'm talking about today is the Real Housewives tag, which was created by Sam from Novels and Nonsense and is based on the amazingly terrible, awesome reality TV show that is The Real Housewives. I'll put a link to Sam's original video below, so please go check that out. And if you haven't already subscribed to her channel, for one, what are you doing? And for two, you should, because it's awesome. So go do that. I haven't been watching much TV lately, but when I do, it's 95% chance that it's going to be reality. MasterChef and MasterChef Junior, Long Island Medium, and of course, The Real Housewives. But I definitely find these shows to be a great pick-me-up, and I was super excited when I saw that Sam had made this tag. Alright, so there are 10 questions in this. Question number 1 is based on The Real Housewives of the OC, and it's a book you liked before it was cool, or the hipstery kind of book. For this, I'm going to say The Namesake by Jimbo Lahiri. One of my professors read this book when it first came out and was so into it that she worked it into one of her classes. And so I read it shortly after it came out, and I actually really enjoyed it. Besides the cultural aspect of the story and being a first-generation American, which I can't personally relate to, I did still relate a lot to the main character and his story, and so this book was, for a while, one of my favorites. So I definitely enjoyed it. And then a few years later, it became a movie and was all over the place. So that is my one bit of hipster cred book-wise, I guess. Number 2 is a book with a plot twist, and this can be a good twist or a bad twist. And my answer for this is going to be Morning Star by Pierce Brown, which is the third book in the Red Rising trilogy. This series as a whole has a lot of twists, but there was one in particular in the third book that just really got me. It was amazing, but it was also awful. Like, I thought that I was going to be sick. I've never had an emotional reaction to a plot twist like I did with this one in Morning Star. So that's all I'm going to say about that, and yeah, there you go. Number 3 is based off of The Real Housewives of DC and is a boring book. For this, I'm going to say The River Why by David James Duncan. I was assigned this book in a class in college and I hated it. I just could not even finish it at this time in my life. I never DNF'd books. I would push through no matter what, and especially for a class. Like, you know, it's a class. They're going to be tested on it or whatever. No, I refused. I hated this book so much I didn't even finish it. It was about fly fishing. It's just, that's basically what I got. There's a guy who likes nature and he likes to go fly fishing. Really, I should read it again because it's been like 10 years now and I'm sure that I didn't give it as much of a chance as I should have, and I should look past the fact that fly fishing does not sound interesting to me at all. So maybe I will do that at some point, but for now it sticks out in my head as the most boring book ever. Number 4 is based off The Real Housewives of New Jersey and is The Table Flip, a book or character who made you so mad you wanted to flip a table. For this, I'm going to say Prince Regal from Robin Hobb's The Farseer trilogy. As of filming this, I'm still wrapping up book 2, so I don't know how much worse he gets, but from the bits that I hear, it sounds like it gets pretty bad. Already, I hate him, and I want to flip all the tables every time I see him doing things, and how the people around him have to sort of let him do things because of whatever weird royal social protocol. Yeah, all the tables flipping around. Number 5 is The Cat Fight, or your favorite fight between two characters. For this, I have to say the fight between Rodrigo and Amar in The Lions of Alrazan by Guy Gavriel Kay. I felt so emotional about this fight. These two characters that clearly have this respect for each other and this love for each other, and they're forced to battle. I had so many feels about this fight. So many feels. Number 6 is based off The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and is the most expensive book you've ever read. I think really the most expensive books I've ever read would be one of these, because they're computer science textbooks and those things cost like $150 a piece. But outside the realm of course books or technical books, I would say The Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. I actually haven't read this copy of it, though I've read the book before just on Kindle, but I'm excited to do a reread soon using this copy, which was a birthday gift from my partner last month. And this is a very fancy edition of the book from the Folio Society, which is illustrated, and it cost about $50. So in terms of fiction and the sort of books that I would normally talk about on my channel, this would be the most expensive. Number 7 is The Exotic Trip, because of course in The Real Housewives every season there's some sort of big trip that they all take to somewhere super fancy, and it's always with the intention of relaxing and bonding, and in reality it always turns out to have some sort of huge fight or drama, and it's very fantastic. So this is a book with an exotic setting. And for that I chose Trader's Moon by Lynn Llewellyn, which is the 3rd book in the Night Runner series. In this one, the 2 main characters, Alec and Serial, go to Arnhem, which is where Serial is originally from, but he was exiled years ago. At this point in the book, the relationship between Arnhem and Scala, which is the country where Alec and Serial have been staying, is not the best. So there hasn't been trade between the 2 countries, and they don't visit each other. So it's become this very legendary, mysterious place to those who are from Scala, like Alec. Arnhem has dragons, and all the people who live there at least have some amount of magical abilities. So yeah, I don't know that that's necessarily where the Real Housewives would go, but that would be my ideal vacation, so there you go. Number 8 is The Product Line, or your favorite book editions. Now, I know everyone is going to be shocked that I'm talking about these books because this clearly never happens in my videos, but my pick for this is Mary Russell books. The set that I got for my birthday were made by Allison and Busby, but I just love these editions. The artwork and the colors are just really pretty, and even the font, the books are set in the 20s and the font is reminiscent of that. The back has this Sherlock silhouette on it. So yes, I am counting the entire set that I got because I got the whole series in the Allison and Busby editions, and they are all equally as pretty. Number 9 is based off The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and this is the Don't Be Tardy prompt, or a book that you were late in reading or that you read after everybody else. I almost answered this with the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb because I just started reading that recently and it seems like everybody has read it, and I don't know why I didn't start reading these books before because I am loving them and definitely late to that party. But since I gave a Farseer answer for an earlier prompt, I'm going to say The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. This is a classic sci-fi novel, which I didn't actually read until January of this year. So I was super late to that party, but I loved this book as soon as I read it. And last but not least is number 10, The Spin-Off, or a sequel that was better or worse than the first book. And I'm twisting this prompt just a little bit. So about 5 years ago, I read the Black Jewels trilogy by Anne Bishop, and I really loved it. I loved the characters, and the ending of the trilogy was just so intense and epic that when I realized it was over, and then I saw that there was a 4th book, I immediately picked it up and started right in on it. And the tone of the 4th book was just so different. Like you just can't go from book 3 immediately to book 4. I was so frustrated with the shift that I just wanted to throw my Kindle across the room, and I stopped reading it and was just a big grump about it. A few months later I did pick it back up and I read it, not with the idea that it was going to be just as intense and epic as book 3 was, but that it was just going to be a chance to revisit the characters. And with that frame of mind, it was pretty enjoyable. Until I got to book 6. I ended up giving this one 3 stars, mostly because I was so attached to the characters that basically any chance to interact with them more was enjoyable to me, and so I was satisfied on that level. But the plot of this book I found to just be so silly. I mean, the basic idea is that these epic magical rulers of the world realm that they're in get trapped in a spooky haunted house. I'm not even joking. That's basically the plot. They get stuck in a haunted house and they have to escape with their lives. Again, it's been like 4.5 years since I read that one, so I've forgotten a lot of the details of the plot, but I do believe they try to make it a bit more involved than that. But the whole underlying story is trapped in a super spooky haunted house. So I was glad to see the characters again, but I just couldn't get over how ridiculous that was. And that's all the questions. So thank you, Sam, for making this tag. It was so much fun to do, and I really enjoyed watching yours. Since I'm not really sure who else is a fan of The Real Housewives, I'm just going to broadly tag anyone who loves the show to do this. Alright, well please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe if you'd like to see more. I hope everybody's having a good week, and I will talk to you later. Unless I end up having a reality TV marathon, in which case I'll talk to you in like 2 weeks. Bye!